Clap, 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 snap, snap, recording. Hey, what's up, guys? It is a solo set breaker podcast. I have not done a podcast alone. And trust me, I had a lot of time to be alone. We all have, because it has been Corona 101. Okay, we are going through some lockdown shit, and a lot of people, they're getting anxiety from this. A lot of people, they're feeling, depressed, worried about a lot of things. For me, this might sound crazy to some of you, but the coronavirus whole thing, and I'm not saying I'm glad about people like passing away and stuff, not that at all, but I'm very grateful for it for myself, just because it forced me to deal with a lot of emotions, a lot of things about myself that I have been running away from since I started pursuing my dreams of stand-up comedy and acting. I realized I was using comedy as a crutch, as a way to dampen a lot of these emotions that I had to deal with, especially after my breakup that happened a little 3.5 months ago. I thought I was fine, like 100% fine, shortly after. And then when the Corona stuff happened, not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago, when all this quarantine stuff started happening, I wasn't able to do comedy like I normally did. I wasn't able to keep myself busy nonstop with work, being on set of TV shows and stuff. I had to be alone, and I was not socializing like I normally do. And in that silence, it brought out a lot of demons, right? I started being hateful towards her in my head, the ex, like just blaming her and feeling anxious and blaming a lot of her. I stopped being friends with a few people through the breakup too, because I started to find out who my friends really were, right? And even that started to bother me, so I was being hateful to them in my head. And I didn't want to be hateful because, you know what they say, if you give them negative energy, you're helping them, you're helping yourself, whatever. I didn't. These are all things just in my head. I'm not expressing this to them or send them shit because I blocked their asses. But for 3 days, I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about that shit. I couldn't stop thinking about the ex, that one friend that basically betrayed me. We don't need to get into it. She took her side after 6 years of friendship, and she at the end was like, well, years don't mean anything. History doesn't mean anything to me when it comes to friendship. Yeah, you know what? I say that shit too, but fuck you. 6 years versus 1 year, fuck you. I know things about you that I don't share, so I'm a good person. But yeah, I just felt so like fucking overwhelmed. Like I couldn't breathe, and then just so angry, right? And then after 3 days, and I felt this all at once, like, and again, I thought I was like, okay. But 3 days of this lockdown, and just out of nowhere, I hit like this point of enlightenment where I started to feel good because I didn't address the true feelings, the deeper feelings, the pain that I was going through, right? So I felt it all at once. This includes like the anger, because people will say, don't allow yourself to be angry because you're helping them. It's like, no, you got to feel that anger. Like, allow yourself to feel that shit. I was trying to positive my way through that whole nonsense, and that actually ended up being a double-edged sword. It actually was hurting me. I was bleeding out. And after that 3 days, I was fine. Because even throughout that 3 months before the lockdown, I was still, even when I had comedy and all that stuff to do, I was still just like, she'd always be in the back of my fucking head, and it was so annoying. And I'd have to keep telling my friends, like, dude, I'm okay now, I'm good, even if they're not asking. Like 90% of the time they're not asking, but I'd like slip it in or tell a story about some crazy shit she did. And even I was in denial of being over it. I'm like, oh, I'm fine, but you know what, she did this thing, and I'm like, fuck. I was getting so tired of talking about it, dude. It was obvious I wasn't over it, and now I am. Dude, I understand the power of solitude now. Because I'm an extrovert, so I feel like I have to keep going out. I felt like I had to keep, previously, I felt like I had to keep going out. I felt like I had to keep talking to people. Otherwise, I'm not the extrovert, right? Like almost as if I had to live up to the name of the extrovert. But dude, I I have learned so much about myself being alone. It accelerated the healing process. I'm fucking over it now. Like I can actually date if I want now too, but I'm not going to. It just I know how to deal with a lot of my emotions now. Because when you have all that anxiety, or at least when I do, I will feel like I have to contact a friend or play video games or masturbate and shit when I'm home all day. But I didn't do any of that. Well, I did play a lot of video games and stuff because I just wanted to. And I did watch a lot of Netflix. But outside of that, I was doing a lot of self-reflection and gained a lot of insight. And I know myself so much better now. And funny enough, I thought I only wanted to be a stand-up comedian and actor. And I told myself for stand-up, I'm not going to go really that into social media because that's not the right way to do it. I would tell myself, like, I want to become, if I'm a true stand-up comic, I'm just going to grind it out in the open mics, in the dirt, go through this shit. And then if 10, 20 years later, when I start getting known, it'll be because of my pure skill and my work ethic. And not because of social media, because that's cheating. And now I'm like, that is stupid of me to think that way. That is so dumb. Social media is a tool. Like, I can't remember the names, but there's a lot of people doing well in stand-up because they are, was I covering my mouth the whole time? Because they are doing stand-up. Because their social media started blowing up, right? It's the exposure, getting seen. And I started thinking about it. I was like, if I'm doing, dude, and I did so many fucking open mics. I spent hours, so many hours and hours and hours of my life. Like my first year and 3 months, I'm a year and a half into it, of stand-up. I did 300 open mics. Do you understand how many that is? That's 5 to 10 minutes. Average 5 to 7 minutes, I mean. That includes shows. 300. Because I told myself I'm going to go hard in the paint. And I didn't realize I did that many. I was like, oh my God, I did do a lot. But on top of that, if I'm putting that much effort and work into it on stage, why not capitalize on social media? And lately, I've been on social media and shit has been popping off out of nowhere. And here's the interesting thing too, because I've been posting videos on TikTok, videos that I wanted to post because I've been watching a lot of other TikTok people and they all do the same thing, like dance videos or just all generic, lame, like dating advice where they just say, look, you have to trust yourself. If they do this, you do this. It's like anybody can say that. I'm 100% certain like 98% of these people have no experience in that shit. They're just giving self-help shit and they're not talking about themselves. The thing that I like to do is I like to, if I'm giving advice or if I'm sharing a story or of like, I don't know, something maybe somebody can get a takeaway from, it's from my own experience. And I talk about it from my first person perspective. So I started doing that, but I was afraid to do that too. I was afraid of putting myself out there and put like my deeper thought, like my true deep thoughts out there, or because like I felt like I had to brand myself as just a comedian, you know, otherwise it's not going to work or whatever. I don't know, just shit you hear from other people and things I made up in my head. And the funny stuff was doing well too. But as soon as I started getting extra real and being very, very vulnerable, which is the number one rule in stand-up, be super authentically you. And the authenticity of me is also that deep side who does talk about all kinds of topics with, you know, my heart and whatever else is involved. And once I did that, my shit popped off on TikTok, right? The comedy stuff took me to like, I think 5K followers. And then once I started posting my other stuff, like my Fuckboy series, in a matter of, I think a week now, I went from like 5K to 38K, 30 something, 36, 37, 38K. That's insane. I never would have thought I would have gotten that. And interesting enough, people actually value what I have to say. It's either helping them or it's entertaining them, or a lot of these, like, there's a lot of kids on there, but there's also a lot of people my age and older as well. They've been telling me that I've been helping them in like the tough shit that they've been going through. And I remembered that I wrote something in 2017 on my MacBook. I saved it. It was on Microsoft Word. I was writing because I was not doing anything I enjoyed at the time. I was really depressed. It was July. It was my birthday month. July 2017. I wrote a bunch of things that I like to do or that I care about. And I wrote, off the top of my head, I wrote like, I like to lead. I like to help people feel good. I like to make them laugh. I like to make a community. Like I want to make a community of people together. Just like stuff like that. And literally I'm doing that right now. Like I just found out like, oh my God, I'm creating a fucking community. And I know this because I've been streaming live, and yesterday was my third day in a row of streaming. The first day I streamed on Monday. Yeah, Monday. It was 20 people on average that were there. Right? People kept dropping off, joining in. The second day, Tuesday, when I live streamed, there was average about 45 people and went up to 50 at one point, average. Again, people were dropping off, coming in, whatever, because that's what happens. And in day 3, yesterday, average was 70 people staying to watch me and listen to me. I'm mind blown. The amount of confidence social media has given to me, and it's ridiculous. Like it taught me that my words do have value. My thoughts do have value, because when you do stand up and you're just like, I'm a nobody, right? Nobody fucking knows me. You're just doing these open mics in front of other comedians that don't fucking care. And it makes you tougher, and you do find out what's funny, but you don't really know what's funny because their egos get in the way. They can't fully be there to laugh. It's like painting for another painter. They don't want to watch you paint. They'd rather paint. They're waiting for you to finish painting so they can pick up the goddamn brush and paint. But TikTok and social media has given me a platform to get real world feedback. Because there's things that I would say that other people wouldn't laugh at when it came to stand up. And I understand. And again, these are open mics, not actual shows. Because when I'm doing actual shows, I'm getting real feedback from real people who are strangers. Literally, there was things that didn't work in front of other comedians that are killing it on my social medias. My real thoughts. Because there is a level of sabotage in stand-up community. People want to bring other people down because of insecurity, and they just feel like, if you don't laugh at me, I'm not gonna laugh at your shit, and a lot of fucking bullshit. But anyways, I had to write this on my piece of paper so I didn't forget. So there was a guy that I knew back in 2015 when I was in college, right? And I don't talk to him anymore. And here's why. So I used to use Snapchat a lot, and I just post up my thoughts about dating or people or whatever. And then one day he messaged me. He responded to a to a Snapchat story where I was talking about, I think, dating. And then he texted, "Hey dude, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm your homie, but you sound pretty pretentious talking like this. Just letting you know." And I messaged him back, "Then don't watch it." And then he said, in all caps, "How could you say that, bro? I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to be your friend. What the fuck?" And he flipped out. And then a part of me thought, I think I triggered him with my story, because I was referring to, I think I was talking about guys dating out of insecurity or something. And I know he got out of a relationship, and I didn't make it about him, but it definitely triggered him. So looking back on it now, it's been 5 years. That's what happened. And he wasn't being my friend when he did that. He had a problem with the fact that I was being authentic and being able to express myself. Because if what I did there is what I'm doing now, and now I'm blowing up on social media. Now I have a long way to go, don't get me wrong, but in a short period of time, by saying the same shit I said back then. So he's not a real fucking friend. What I've been finding out in these past few months, especially in this solitude with the Corona lockdown, is that a lot of my friends are not my fucking real friends. Like real friends. Some of them want me to fail. Well, those ones that think like that, I could really tell, and I don't talk to them. I cut them out. But those friends, right? Let's talk more about the ones that I cut out. But they were not my friends. They never really wanted me to win. You know, so they didn't like that I had a lot of energy. They would start in positivity, and they would start to like drama out of nowhere and say, "Hey, let's this is what I think about this," just to argue. I'm like, why can't we talk more about what's going right? Why do you got to always be negative? You fucking thrive off of drama because you're used to that in your life. All these people, a lot of people just thrive off of drama because they'd rather have that to keep themselves feel like they have an identity, like they got shit going on, so they don't have to deal with the real shit that's happening in their life or their feelings. People do that all the fucking time. Drama hounds, Debbie Downers. Because as long as things are going wrong in their life, they have a reason for being. Because you take all that shit away, then they have to face, oh my God, I work at this job I fucking hate. Who am I? Who am I? What am I? People are afraid of being found out, not just by other people, but by themselves, dog. They're fucking afraid. I thought as an extrovert, I had to keep all those friends around. But I was kind of using them as a crutch too. I know that. I was using them as a motherfucking crutch. You know? I do this with my jaw because I grind my teeth. And my jaw gets tired. If you don't know what I did, if you're listening, I just opened my jaw like a yeah. But anyways, now I feel so much stronger. I'm not gonna allow those type of people in my life anymore. Because I can't be alone. Look at me, the super extroverted guy who's fine being alone, and there was this quote. It said something about it's better to be alone than be around people who make you feel alone. A lot of my so-called friends that I knew for a while, I cut out a lot of them. They always made me feel alone because they would make fun of me and just do little like jabs to make it seem like they're joking, but they did it because they're trying to bring me down. They wanted to see if they could crack me. They cannot believe that I am this fucking energetic and positive. Yeah, I'm tooting my own goddamn horn. I had to work for this shit. I was depressed up until 28. I was going to kill myself. I fucking deserve this. I worked to get to this point. It was a painful fucking process of 28 years. And even then, I'm 30 now. Throughout the past 2 years, it was painful. I barely hit this enlightenment now, like true enlightenment. So 30 years, dude. I don't talk about it often. That's why. People don't fucking know, and it's cool. I don't expect you to. But people need to understand what they're fucking doing when they're trying to bring other people down. I can handle it, so go ahead, and I'll call you out now. I'll call these motherfuckers out now. I don't care. I don't need people like that. I know who my friends are. There's very few that are like I can 100% trust, but there's also really cool people coming in my life now. Also, I'm not saying we all got to be best friends, but as long as you're not fucking my shit up or you get in my way, I'll show you love. But yeah, you know what? History, it doesn't mean shit. A lot of times we let things go that people do because, I've known them for 6 years, 10 years. Doesn't mean goddamn shit. People change, people evolve. And a lot of times too, because you're evolving, their true selves get revealed in your eyes. They probably were always like that, but you couldn't see it. And you started seeing it as you started to understand yourself and as you started to grow. Yeah. But yeah, fuck that dude that was on Snapchat. I know he doesn't listen to this, but if he does, like, fuck you, dude. I'm glad we're not fucking friends. Fuck off. Wow, that got really intense. I had to let that out somewhere. I feel much better. I've been getting kind of paranoid lately because I've been feeling like kind of like I'm getting a sore throat at times, but then it goes away. So I'm like, fuck, am I getting sick? Am I getting motherfucking coronas and shit? Really gets me paranoid, Because they say if you got a dry throat, you gotta hydrate right away because that's how it gets to you. dry throat to your lungs, something like that. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Netflix shows. A lot of good ones. One in particular that I finished. Oopsie. Is The Kingdom. It's the Korean zombie show. Now, yeah, I've seen a lot of zombie shows. Okay, yeah, but this one's very different and very unique. It is so good. The acting's good, the action's good, the story's good. It is just a great, great series with seasons out. 2 seasons out. So good. So fucking good, man. I highly recommend you watch it. Like, there's things that happen in it where I'm laughing out loud because it's so crazy. And it's funny at times, too. There are some humorous moments, but it's very dramatic. It's very, it's a lot about loyalty in there. A lot about loyalty. And something that I really value now, even more than before, is loyalty. Because now I know what it's like to not only be betrayed, but have someone always there to pretend they're there for you. Even my ex-girlfriend. You know, she would tell me she supports me fully, but then sabotage me on my journey. You know, she even admitted one time that she was jealous that I found my dream and she didn't. And I ignored that. I let it go, but it dictated all the rest of the relationship. Because basically, if you don't know, halfway through the relationship, it was a 2-year relationship. I discovered my dream, and yeah, she would just cause a lot of drama. Now I played a lot in it too, a huge part. I couldn't leave. I was too weak, so I can't blame her. But I actually thank her a lot too. I thank her because she was an instrumental part in me, you know, getting to this place. So I have nothing but gratitude for that relationship. You know, no, damn, my jaw is like really tight. I need to do some jaw exercises. Oh my God. Whoa. Felt like my jaw was going to lock right there. But yeah, you see, the whole screaming at the beginning of this fucking podcast got me all tired and shit. Talking alone takes a while, right? Or maybe I'm just pushing this too much. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, it's got to be 45 minutes to an hour. No, I shouldn't. I should end it when it feels appropriate. And it feels like it's you know what I'll do? Whoever's listening to this, ask me some questions next time. Or maybe next time I'll do like a live stream and then have them ask me questions and I'll answer it on the live and then record it on the podcast too. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah. So anyways, guys, this has been a quick update about how I'm doing with the coronavirus lockdown. I hope you're doing fine. I hope your family's doing fine. I hope that you're being safe and healthy. And I know I make jokes about the coronavirus, but I do sincerely want everybody to be safe. I really, really do. You know, I have a friend who is around my age. He's a little bit younger, like mid-20s. He told me recently that he has a friend that passed away who was young. And I know it sounds fucked up, but this stuff doesn't really hit home until you know somebody personally that it gets that gets affected by it, or you know somebody that knows somebody personally that it's been affected by. And I have my former college professor. She got coronavirus. And she was posting on Facebook how her lungs were burning, and one day she fell asleep for like 18 hours, and she's going through a lot of hell. And yeah, fortunately, nobody in my family has it. No, I mean, I hope she's okay, but fortunately, nobody in my family has it. And yeah, I'm you know, I want to visit my grandma, my grandparents, or well, I mean, my grandmas. All my grandfathers are passed away, but I don't want to risk it because both my grandmas are quite old. They're both 90. Well, one is I think 88/89. The other one is 90, and the one that's 90, she's sorry, the one that's 80, almost 90 is she hasn't been doing well for the past few years because she's got like heart problems and stuff. And if she got the coronavirus, it would not be good. So, but I also don't sit around thinking about that because there's no point to keep thinking about that. This is something I can tell you guys. I highly suggest, look, they say, yeah, it's good to know what's going on with the news and stuff. But for me, I don't keep up with it. All I do is I make sure I'm safe and I don't be out there fucking around and things like that. But I don't need to keep knowing all this shit. It's just gonna make you more paranoid, more anxious. It's gonna even lower your immune system. So when you do go out, when you have to get groceries or you come in contact with strangers, and you, let's say you potentially get it, you're more likely to get fucked up by it. So keep your immune system strong. Keep your head up. Stay positive, and things will be fine eventually. But I think right now everybody should take this time to really just get to know themselves and face their feelings, and don't drink. Don't be smoking weed. Don't be doing all that nonsense. Because there will not be another opportunity like this to really get to know yourself. Like right now. Okay? So thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Set Breaker podcast with your host, Mike Kim. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next episode.